Hello everyone and welcome to Salesforce FAQs. So today in this video we are going to learn how we can create recurring tasks using the Salesforce flow automation. And in this we will create a scheduled trigger flow that will create a recurring task, and the recurring task can be a follow-up task that repeats daily, weekly or monthly. So first I will show you what are the recurring tasks in Salesforce. So in Salesforce, recurring tasks are those tasks that repeat on regular schedule like daily, weekly or monthly. And with the word recurring, we can understand these are the tasks that occurs on the repetition. So let's move ahead and see the process how we can create recurring tasks in Salesforce using the flow automation. So for this, we are going to create a scheduled trigger flow. And before that, I will just take few seconds to introduce our newly launched Salesforce admin course. So first, let me show you the course content. So this is our newly launched the Salesforce admin course, and I will also mention the course link in the description from where you can access and view the course. So we have designed this course specifically for the beginners and the people who want to learn the admin part. So in this course, you are going to get more than 50 hours of video content, including PDFs and solution. And for this course, we have covered every module in depth. You can see these are the modules that we have covered in this course, that is Introduction to Salesforce, Salesforce Navigation and Setup. So in the modules, you can see the table of content so that you will have an idea what are the topics that we have covered in this admin course. And we have covered this course in 10 modules. So it will take you around 2 to 3 months to complete this whole course. And when it comes to the pricing, we have kept it $199 for the lifetime access. So once you purchase this course, you are going to get lifetime access for this course. So this was all about the course, and now let's move back to the topic. So this is the demo scheduled trigger flow that I have created to automate the process of creating a recurring task. So in this flow, first I have defined the schedule for the trigger to run. So it will run weekly. That is the time that I set over here. That is from 13th of May 2025. So when this flow will trigger, it will create the follow-up task for the opportunities that were created in that specific week. So let me show you the components of this. So here in the create record component, I have defined all the conditions that will create the task, that is the follow-up task for the opportunity. So here these are the fields that I have mapped with the task and the opportunity object. So this is how we are going to create the flow to automate the recurring task, that is the creating follow-up task for an opportunity. So for that, I will go back to the flow setup. So here from the setup page of Salesforce Lightning, we will navigate to the flow setup. So for that, here go to the quick find box and here search and select flows. And now in the flow setup window, you have to click on the button new flow. And here select the option start from scratch and then click next. So to create the recurring task, we need to trigger or run the flow on the time intervals like weekly, monthly, quarterly or yearly. So for that, we are going to use the schedule trigger flow, because in this only we can run the flow on the schedules. And after this, click on the create button. So here in the schedule, we need to specify the date and time for the flow to trigger. So here I will take the current date. So here I am taking tomorrow's date and the time. And from here you can set the frequency. So here I can see two options, that is daily and weekly. So I will select the option weekly. So with this, the flow will run weekly from the specified date and the time. And after defining schedule for the trigger, we also need to add the object over here. So here we need to select the object also. So we are creating this schedule trigger flow in respect to create a follow-up task for the opportunity record. So here I will select the object as opportunity. So here we are adding two conditions, that is that until and unless the opportunity stage is closed, lost or closed won, this schedule trigger flow will run and create the follow-up task. Okay, so the condition would be like stage name equals to closed won and stage name equals to closed lost. Stage name does not equals to, and here also does not equals to. So when the stage name of an opportunity is not equals to closed lost or closed won, this record trigger flow will run weekly to create a follow-up task. So here we are going to add the create record element to create the follow-up task. So for that, here add a create record element, and the label we are going to give it here as create follow-up task. And the API name with lot of field. And here we have to select the option manually, how to set record field values. And the object here is going to be the task, because we are going to create the task object for related to the opportunity. So to create the task record, we need the information that will eventually create the task record. So we are going to map the field values of opportunity record that is triggering the flow with the field values of the task object. So first field that we are going to map it as field value, that is due date. So for example, I want to make this flow trigger after 3, 5 or 7 days of triggering the flow. So for example, this flow trigger on 15th of May, and I want to create the task after 7 days. So for that I'm going to add the resource. So here I've already created a resource, that is a formula resource. So let me show you that also. So this is how you need to define the formula resource. So for that you have to select the resource type as a formula, and API name you can name it anything, and the data type here will be date. So here in the formula field, this is the formula that is going to calculate the 7 days from the date the flow will trigger. And I will also mention this formula in the description, and here click done. So now the next field that we are going to map over here is owner ID. So here I want to assign the task to the opportunity owner. So I will map the owner ID, that is assignee to ID, with the triggering opportunity owner ID. So with this, the task will be assigned to the opportunity owner. And another field that we are going to map over here is the priority. So the moment the task will be created, it will be set to high priority. And the next field for the task record is a status. So the initial status will be not started. And another field will be what ID, that is related to ID. So we want to relate this ID to the opportunity record. So here the ID will be triggering opportunity, and here select opportunity ID. So it will be triggering opportunity ID. So with this, the created task will be related to the opportunity that is triggering the flow. So here we have mapped all the fields to create the follow-up task. So at last we need to map the task subject also. So here we will select subject. So here we have to enter the subject for different records. So we will use the formula field to display the name of the current record. So for that, again, we need to create a new resource. So here the resource type is going to be formula, and the API name will be subject, and the data type here I'm going to take as text. So this is the formula that is going to enter the different subject name according to the name of the record. So here we will click on the done button. So with this, we have mapped all the fields that are required to create a task for the opportunity object. And here I will close this. So at last we need to save this flow. So for that, click on the save button, and here enter the flow label. So we are going to name it as create follow-up task. In the flow API name will be auto field. So here click on the save button. So with this, the flow is completed. Flow, and to deploy this flow, we simply need to activate it. And before that, we will test the flow. So for that, click on the debug button. And as of now, I will skip the start condition. And here I will select the opportunity record. And here click on the run button. So as you can see, the flow is running fine. So here you can see the flow is working fine, and it is creating the follow-up task according to the fields that we have mapped. But here also again we can see one error is there, that is formula expression is invalid. So let's check that also. So here we will check the syntax error. So it was in the subject formula that you defined. So again, so here one semicolon was missing. So after correcting the formula, again we will check the syntax and it is valid. And again we will debug the flow. Save and debug. And here I will skip the start condition and then run the flow. So now you can see now there is no error and the flow is working fine, that it is creating the follow-up task. So this is how you can create recurring task in Salesforce using the schedule trigger flow. So at last you need to activate the flow with the activate button. So as of now the flow is activated, and you can also see the schedule trigger flow in the scheduled jobs. So for that, go to the quick find box and here search and select scheduled jobs. So here you can see this is the schedule trigger flow that you have created. So it is showing the job name as the flow name that you have created. So this is how you can automate the recurring task in Salesforce using the flow automation. And I hope that you have liked this video. Then please do like, share and subscribe us. And do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you can get regular updates of our upcoming videos. And thank you for giving your time and watching this video till last. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.